Order 66.7. Welcome to Order 66.7, your tactical uplink for all things Star Wars Shatterpoint. Today we're covering the newly deployed Delta Squad Pack. These elite clone commandos are ready to shake things up. Let's dive in and see how they play on the table. Boss, the leader of Delta Squad, brings serious battlefield presence. With 10 stamina, 3 durability, and 9 squad points, he also contributes 3 force to your pool. His tags: Clone Commando, Clone Trooper, Delta Squad, and Galactic Republic. His tactics ability, Hang Tight Trooper. At the start of his activation, all allied Delta Squad characters within range 4 may dash. Free movement? Always welcome. His identity ability, you need to learn I'm a lot scarier than you are. Boss adds 1 die to his attacks for every 3 damage and each injured token he has. When he wounds an enemy, he refreshes 2 force. His innate, let's get in there. When he dashes, he can suffer 1 damage to advance. If he advances, he can take 2 damage to reposition. This not only gives him crazy mobility, but also feeds his identity. Active ability, Delta, give me an explosive solution, for 2 force. Choose an objective within range 3 of a clone trooper character. All allied characters within range 2 of the objective dash and gain a hunker. All units within 2 take 2 damage and remove hunker. This power is huge: free dashes, hunker stacking, objective disruption, and area damage. Also, it works on any objective token, not just active ones. Boss's first stance is Wet Work, which has 6 dice at range 5 and 7 in melee. His defensive expertise cancels a crit and adds a block on 1 to 2, adds a heal on 3 and adds another block on 4+. On attack at range, 1 expertise gives 2 strikes, 2 adds another strikes, and on 3+2 critical and a strike. In melee, Boss Vibroblade expertise gives a critical on 1, adds a damage on 2 and adds another critical on 3+. The damage tree maxes out at 9 damage before expertise with a shove and pin. The other option has 8 damage and 3 conditions. His rapid fire stance has 7 dice at range and 6 in melee, still with 5 in defense. For defensive expertise, 1 to 2 is 2 blocks, 3 adds a heal and climb, while 4+ changes the climb to a reposition. Solid but lacks the critical mitigation of Wet Work. Ranged expertise has a strike, a critical on 1 to 2, 2 criticals on 3, and 2 criticals and 2 strikes on 4+. While in melee 1 to 2 expertise gives 2 strikes, 3 is a critical and strike, and 4+ is 2 criticals. Damage tree maxes out at 7 with an expose and 3 shoves. However, the bottom route had 2 heals and trigger for an active ability, which could cause even more damage. Overall, Boss looks solid for what he is. There is not a lot for him to do outside of Delta-centric strike teams, as he is quite selfish. Fixer clocks in as a 4-point secondary. He has 8 stamina, 2 durability, and shares the standard Delta tags. His tactics ability: grab yourself some Bacta, Trooper, heal a clone trooper, then dash. Tactical healing plus repositioning? Excellent start. Forming Up, Sir, is an innate ability. When an allied clone trooper moves, if at least 1 character ends within range 3 of Fixer, they gain a hunker. This creates passive defense across your formation. Coordinated Firepower, another innate. When a clone trooper attacks, it gets to add a die for each other Delta Squad unit within range 5 and line of sight to the target. Stormtrooper Sergeant fans will find this familiar. Fixer also breaks ties when controlling objectives. His stance card has some interesting things on it. 7 dice on attack at range 5 and in melee, with 5 dice on defense. His defensive expertise has a critical downgrade to a strike and 1 block on 1 and an additional block on 2+ expertise. His DC-17M blaster has 2 strikes on 1 expertise, 2 criticals on 3 or 4, and 2 criticals and 2 strikes on 5+. Fixer's expertise when knifing someone on 1 to 2 expertise is a strike and cancels a block, adding a critical on 3 to 4 and adding another critical for a total of 2 on 5+. Fixer's damage tree has 2 start points with very different outcomes. The top tree can max out at 7 damage with 1 shove and an expose. The bottom tree has a max damage of only 4 with a shove and pin, however it has 3 heals split between second and third squares. If you full tree, you are rewarded with a reposition. His only movement ability is his tactics, so Fixer will need some support with getting to where he needs to. Other than that, he is going to be a menace on the table when paired with other clones. Sev and Scorch come in as a 5-point supporting unit. They bring 8 stamina, 2 durability, and of course, the Delta tags. Starting off they have a tactics ability, Point Me at the Enemy, which gives a dash to each character in this unit towards an enemy character. Considering how broad towards is, this shouldn't be too much of a restriction. Yes. More Explosives is an active ability for one force. Choose an enemy in range 3, roll 5 attack dice. The unit suffers damage for each expertise rolled. If it suffers any damage, it also gains a strain. S and S have a reactive ability as well, Rule 34. Wait, no, that isn't right. Rule 17, always make sure they are dead. For a force, when another Republic unit within 3 makes a combat action, you can get one of these boys to dash and make a 5-die attack on the same enemy characters within range and line of sight. Last of all, they come with protection and steadfast when contesting active objectives. On their specialist stance they roll 7 attack dice at range 5, 6 in melee with 5 defense at range and 4 in melee. On defense their Katarn class armor provides 1 block and downgrades a critical to a strike on 1 to 2 expertise. On 3+ it also adds another block and a climb. Range expertise has 2 strikes on 1 to 2 expertise, cancels a block on 2 to 4, and on 5+ has a critical, a strike, and cancels a block. In melee 1 to 3 expertise gives 2 strikes and any more expertise gives a single critical and strike. Damage-wise they have 2 tree options. The top tree has a max of 5 damage, front-loading this with 2 damage on the first space and 2 conditions, ending with 2 heals. The bottom tree has a max of 6 damage with 2 shoves and disarm, but the 4 space has a climb and the damage is back-loaded, with 2 on the final space. Interestingly, there is no crossover, you get one tree or the other per attack. A solid frontline support, but at 5 points, they'll mostly be used alongside boss. Republic has tons of 4-point options, and fitting these guys in won't always be easy. Delta Squad delivers something fresh for the Republic. Boss is a self-contained hammer with explosive potential. Fixer is the flexible standout that fits a variety of builds. And Sev and Scorch bring fun, flavorful utility, even if they're harder to slot in. That's your Delta Squad tactical brief. This has been Order 66.7. Subscribe for more Shatterpoint updates, list tech, and errata analysis. Until next time, stay sharp, and watch those objectives.
Any civilized being knows an open invitation is no invitation at all.